She's the only one who makes us proud. That single brutal comment on Instagram, posted on my 30th birthday, was like a knife twisting in my gut. It was the moment I realized I'd been bleeding for years, and now it was time to stop. I stared at those words on my phone screen, my 30th birthday cake, a lonely, untouched cupcake sitting in front of me. My mom had commented on my sister Brooke's Instagram post, a beaming photo of her at the airport, luggage in tow, off to a surprise trip to Paris that our parents had just gifted her. The post was drowning in heart emojis, exclamation points, and dozens of gushing comments from family and friends. My name is Ashley, and on that day, in my quiet Richmond, Virginia apartment, I turned 30. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep, making decent money, but nothing glamorous. I lived alone, mostly kept to myself, and for the past 8 years, I'd been desperately trying to prove to my family that I mattered. That morning, I'd woken up with a sliver of hope, wishing for a phone call, a text, maybe even a card. Instead, there was silence. Then there was that post. I sat at my small kitchen table, watching my single cupcake grow sadder by the minute. I refreshed the page, a pathetic attempt to somehow unsee what I just read. But no, there was Brooke, 26, radiating pure joy, and my mom's comment, pinned right at the top for the entire world to see. Honestly, it wasn't a surprise. Not really. This was just how it had always been. Brooke was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, the one who soaked up all the attention, all the praise, all the unwavering support. And me? I was the backup plan, the one they tolerated but never, ever celebrated. Growing up, Brooke got the best room, the new clothes, private tutoring for every little struggle. I got hand-me-downs and a dismissive pat on the head, even when I brought home straight A's. When Brooke decided she wanted to join the middle school dance team, my parents threw money at expensive lessons and costumes without a second thought. But when I, in high school, timidly asked about photography classes, my dad's response was swift and cold. We can't afford it. Focus on practical things. So, I worked at a grocery store after school, saving every penny for a used camera. My parents never came to the small art show where my photos were displayed, but they were front and center at every single one of Brooke's dance recitals, flowers in hand. That afternoon, I called my mom, a desperate final attempt to see if maybe, just maybe, she'd forgotten. The phone rang 4 times. "Oh, Ashley." "Hi," she said, her voice laced with distraction. "I'm at the airport with your sister. Can I call you back?" "It's my birthday, Mom." A pause. I could hear the airport bustle, announcements echoing. "Oh, right. Happy birthday, honey. Listen, we're about to board. I'll call you later, okay?" She hung up before I could even respond. I slowly put the phone down and stared at that damn cupcake again. Then, a cold clarity washed over me. I opened my laptop and logged into the joint bank account I shared with my parents. An account I'd been contributing to for 6 long years. It started when my dad had a health scare. Surgery, medical bills piling up. They didn't have great insurance, and they were drowning. I had just landed my first big sales job, and I wanted to help. So I set up automatic transfers, $500 a month, straight from my paycheck. It wasn't much, but it added up. I figured it was the least I could do. They were my parents, after all, except they never mentioned it. Not once. No thank you, no acknowledgement. When I casually brought it up at Thanksgiving 2 years ago, my mom waved it off. "Oh, that's sweet of you, Ashley. But we're fine. Really, we're fine." They were fine. And yet, here they were, dropping what I could only assume was tens of thousands of dollars on a spontaneous trip to Paris for Brooke. I did the math in my head. 6 years, $500 a month. That was $36,000. $36,000 I'd given them, thinking I was helping, thinking maybe it would finally mean something. I clicked through the account history, my stomach twisting with every entry. Groceries, utilities, car payments, the usual stuff. But then I saw it. A charge for $4,000, labeled travel agency. Another for $1,500, boutique shopping. And just last month, a $10,000 deposit into Brooke's personal account with a memo, gift. They've been using my money. Not for bills, not for emergencies. For Brooke. If you're still listening to this unbelievable story, and I hope you are, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep sharing these raw, personal experiences. I leaned back in my chair, my hands shaking. I felt like an absolute idiot. All those years, all that money, and they'd just been funneling it to my sister. While I scraped by, living paycheck to paycheck, skipping vacations and new clothes because I wanted to make sure they were okay. I thought about the times I'd said no to weekend trips with coworkers because I couldn't afford them. The time I'd eaten ramen for 2 weeks straight because my car needed repairs and I refused to touch my emergency fund. The countless sacrifices I'd made, all while my parents treated Brooke like royalty with my money. I looked at the cupcake again. Then I looked at the screen, and I made a decision. I clicked withdraw. It took me 3 days to move all the money. $36,000 transferred back into my personal account in small enough increments not to trigger any alerts. I told myself I wasn't stealing. It was my money. I'd earned it. I'd given it freely, sure, but they'd lied to me. They'd taken advantage of me. So I was taking it back. The guilt hit me in waves at first. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was being petty, if I was overreacting. But then I'd remember my mom's comment on that Instagram post. She's the only one who makes us proud. And the guilt would evaporate, replaced by something harder, colder. Righteous anger. I didn't tell anyone. Not my friends, not my coworkers. I just went to work, lived my life, pretended everything was normal. But inside, I felt different. Lighter, maybe, or just angrier. Brooke called me from Paris on the 3rd day of her trip. I let go to voicemail. She called again the next day, and the day after. Finally, I answered. Ashley, oh my God, you have to see this city. It's incredible. Mom and Dad are being so generous. We went to the Louvre yesterday, and tonight we're having dinner at this amazing restaurant near the Eiffel Tower. Sounds nice, I said, my voice flat. Are you okay? You sound weird. I'm fine. Just busy. Well, I wanted to thank you. I know you've been helping Mom and Dad out, and I'm sure that's part of why they could do this for me. So, thank you. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I said, don't worry about it. You're the best big sister ever, she gushed. I could hear the genuine smile in her voice. I hung up and threw my phone across the room. The thing about Brooke is she wasn't a bad person. Not mean, not malicious. She was just oblivious. Spoiled, yes, but not intentionally cruel. She genuinely believed the world revolved around her, because that's exactly how our parents had raised her. And I couldn't even blame her for that. It wasn't her fault they'd chosen her as the favorite, but God, it still hurt. I remembered being 10, Brooke 14. I'd saved my allowance for 3 months to buy a vintage camera I'd seen in a pawn shop. The day I finally had enough money, I rushed home, excited to show my parents. But Brooke had just gotten a bad grade on a math test. My parents were at the kitchen table, consoling her, promising her a new tablet if her grades went up. That's great, Ashley, my mom had said, barely glancing up for Brooke's paper. Now go do your homework. I took the camera to my room and cried. Not because I wanted praise, but because I just wanted them to care. Just a little bit. I spent the next week researching what to do with the money. I wasn't going to blow it on something stupid. I wanted to use it wisely, in a way that actually meant something. I considered investing it, maybe a down payment on a house. But then I stumbled upon an ad for a medical billing course. A 6-month program that would certify me in healthcare administration, something I'd always been interested in, but never had the time or money to pursue. The program cost $8,000 upfront. Before, that would have felt impossible. Now I had the means. I signed up that night. My parents didn't notice the missing money right away. Or if they did, they didn't say anything. But 2 weeks after I withdrew it, my dad called. Ashley, we need to talk. My heart sank. About what? The account. There's been some kind of error. A lot of money is missing. Missing? Yeah. Over $30,000. I called the bank, and they said it was transferred out. Do you know anything about that? I paused, choosing my words carefully. I withdrew it. You what? It was my money, Dad. I put in there. I took it back out. A long, heavy silence. Then, Ashley, that money was for emergencies. We were counting on it. Emergencies? I repeated, my voice tight. Like a trip to Paris? Another silence. That's different, he said finally. Ow! Brooke needed a break. She's been working so hard. And your mom, and I wanted to do something special for her. And what about me? The words came out sharper than I intended. I've been putting money into that account for 6 years, Dad. 6 years. And not once did you or Mom say thank you. Not once did you ask if I needed help. You just took it and gave it to Brooke. That's not fair, he said, but his voice lacked conviction. No, Dad. What's not fair is that I've been busting my ass to support this family while you treat me like I don't exist. So yeah, I took my money back, and I'm not sorry. I hung up before he could respond. My hands were shaking again, but this time it wasn't from guilt. It was from adrenaline, from finally standing up for myself. It felt good, terrifying but good. I poured myself a glass of wine and sat on my couch, staring at nothing. Part of me expected to feel worse, to be crushed by guilt, but instead there was relief. Like I'd finally cut a rope that had been strangling me for years. The fallout was immediate. My mom called that evening, her voice shrill and accusatory. How could you do this to us, Ashley? We trusted you. You trusted me? I shot back. You've been lying to me for years. We didn't lie. We just didn't think you'd make such a big deal out of it. A big deal, Mom? That was $36,000. $36,000 I gave you because I thought you needed it, and you spent it on Brooke. Brooke is going through a lot right now. She needed our support, and I didn't. My mom didn't answer. Instead, she said, "Your father and I are very disappointed in you." I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. Of course you are, because I'm always the disappointment, aren't I? Brooke can do no wrong, but me? I'm just a screw-up who doesn't deserve anything. That's not true, isn't it? When's the last time you celebrated anything I did, Mom? When's the last time you even asked how I was doing? She was quiet for a long moment. Then, "We'll talk about this when you've calmed down." And she hung up. I didn't cry. I wanted to, but the tears wouldn't come. Instead, there was this hollow ache in my chest, like something had been ripped out. I'd always known my parents had a favorite, but hearing my mom defend it so casually, that was what truly broke me. I threw myself into the medical billing course. It was a way to distract myself, to channel all the anger and hurt into something productive. The coursework was intense, but I loved it. For the first time in years, I felt like I was doing something for myself, not for anyone else. Not to prove a point, not to earn approval. Just for me. Classes were twice a week in the evenings, and on weekends, I studied at a coffee shop. I met other students, people also trying to better their lives. For once, I didn't feel so alone. Patricia, a single mom in her 40s, retraining after a layoff, became a good friend. She'd tell me about her kids, about how hard it was, but how worth it. "You're doing the right thing," she told me one Saturday. "Investing in yourself. That's the smartest thing you can do." My coworker Vanessa noticed a change in me too. We'd been friendly, but she started inviting me for coffee more often, asking how I was really doing. I didn't tell her everything, but I told her enough. About the money, about my family, about how invisible I'd always felt. "You did the right thing," she said one afternoon. "They were taking advantage of you." I keep telling myself that. I admit it, but part of me still feels guilty. Why? Because you stood up for yourself. Because they're my parents, and Brooke is my sister. I'm supposed to just forgive them, right? Vanessa shook her head. Forgiveness isn't the same as being a doormat, Ashley. You can love your family and still set boundaries. Her words stuck with me. I'd spent so long trying to earn my family's love that I'd forgotten I didn't have to. I could just walk away. But walking away was easier said than done. Brooke came back from Paris 3 weeks after my birthday and called again. This time I answered. "Ashley, what the hell is going on? Mom and Dad are furious with you." "I'm sure they are. They said you took money out of their account." "Is that true?" "It was my money, Brooke. But they needed it." "No, they didn't. They used it to send you to Paris." A pause. I didn't know that." "Of course you didn't. You never know anything, do you? You just get to coast through life while the rest of us pick up the pieces." "That's not fair," she said, her voice small. "Maybe not, but it's true. Ashley, I'm sorry. I didn't realize." "It doesn't matter anymore," I interrupted. "Just enjoy your life, Brooke. That's what you're good at." I hung up and blocked her number. That night, I looked at myself in the mirror for a long time. I didn't recognize the person staring back. She looked harder, angrier, but also stronger. I thought about my mom's Instagram comment. She's the only one who makes us proud. And I realized something profound. I didn't need them to be proud of me. I just needed to be proud of myself. And for the first time in my life, I scrolled through photos from the past few years. Work events, dinners with friends, solo trips. In every single one, I was smiling, but the smile never reached my eyes. I looked tired, defeated. Right then, I took a selfie, standing in my bathroom in sweatpants, messy hair. And I smiled. A real smile. Because I'd finally done something for me. I posted it on my own Instagram with a simple caption, 30 and thriving. I didn't tag anyone. I didn't need to. This wasn't for them. It was for me. A month passed before my parents reached out again. I'd blocked Brooke's number, but my mom found another way, email. The subject line, "We need to talk about this situation." I almost deleted it without reading. Almost. But curiosity won. "Ashley, your father and I have been discussing your recent behavior, and we think you owe us an explanation. Taking that money was extremely selfish, especially when you knew we had plans. Brooke has been very upset by all of this, and frankly, so have we. We raised you better than this. We expect you to return the money immediately and apologize to your sister for ruining her trip experience. She's been crying every day since she found out what you did. Family is supposed to support each other, and you've let us all down. Please call us so we can resolve this like adults." Mom, I read it 3 times. Each time, my blood pressure rose a little higher. They expected me to apologize, to return the money, and somehow, in their twisted logic, I was the one who'd ruined Brooke's trip, a trip she'd already taken and enjoyed, funded by my own hard-earned money. I typed out a response, my fingers flying. "Mom, I don't owe you anything. Not an explanation, not an apology, and certainly not that money. I gave it to you in good faith, believing you needed it for medical bills and essential expenses. Instead, you used it to spoil Brooke while treating me like I didn't exist. I'm done being your backup bank account. I'm done being invisible. Don't contact me again unless you're ready to have an honest conversation about how you've treated me for the last 30 years. Ashley." I hit send before I could second-guess myself. The medical billing course was going great. I was excelling. Patricia and I had become genuine friends. She was the first person I told the full extent of what happened. "They said what?" she asked, eyes wide. "They want me to apologize and return the money. Are they insane?" "Apparently." Patricia shook her head. "You know what I think? I think they're panicking. They got used to that cushion of money, and now it's gone. They're trying to guilt you into giving it back." "It's working a little," I admitted. "I keep thinking about Brooke crying." "Brooke's a grown woman," Patricia retorted. "If she's crying, it's because she finally had to face reality." I wanted to believe that. I really did. But that nagging part of me, trained since childhood to put everyone else first, to smooth things over, to make everyone happy, everyone except me, still lingered. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, but I recognized the Virginia area code. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Hello, Ashley. It's Dad." I should have hung up, blocked the number, but something in his voice stopped me. "What do you want?" "I want to talk. Really talk. Not argue. Just talk." I hesitated. "I'm listening." "Your mom's email was out of line." I told her that. "But Ashley, you have to understand where we're coming from. The money. We had plans for it. Plans that didn't include me." He sighed. "It's not that simple." "Actually, Dad, it is. You took my money and gave it to Brooke. You let Mom post that comment saying Brooke was the only one who made you proud. You forgot my birthday. It really is that simple. We didn't forget your birthday. Your mom was just distracted with getting Brooke to the airport." "That's worse, Dad. That's so much worse. You chose to prioritize Brooke over me. Again, like you always do. Brooke needs more support. She's not as stable as you are." There it was. The excuse I'd heard 1,000 times. Brooke needs more. Brooke's struggling. Brooke deserves special treatment. And me? I was just supposed to be stable. Solid. The one who never needed anything. "I'm not doing this anymore," I said quietly. "I'm not going to keep setting myself on fire to keep everyone else warm." "Ashley, no, Dad. I'm done. I took my money back, and I'm using it to better my life. If you can't be happy for me, then we don't have anything else to talk about." I hung up and immediately blocked the number. My hands were shaking, but a strange sense of calm washed over me. Every time I stood up to them, it got a little easier. The guilt was still there, but it was quieter now, easier to ignore. Vanessa noticed my mood at work. "You okay? You seem tense." "My dad called." "Oh no. What happened?" I told her everything. His excuses, how I'd finally had enough. Vanessa listened without interrupting. "You know what I think?" she said. "I think you're grieving." "Grieving?" "Yeah. You're grieving the family you thought you had, or the family you wanted to have. And that's okay. It's normal. But you can't let that grief pull you back into their dysfunction." She was right. I was grieving. I was mourning the relationship I'd never have with my parents, the sisterhood Brooke and I would never truly share. But more than that, I was grieving the version of myself who'd spent so many years trying to earn love that should have been freely given. That weekend, studying at the coffee shop, my phone buzzed. Another unknown number. This time it was Brooke. "Ashley, please talk to me. I got a new phone. I didn't know about the money. I didn't know they were using yours. I'm so sorry. Can we please talk?" I stared at the message. Part of me wanted to respond, but another part, the stronger part, knew it wouldn't change anything. I typed back, "Brooke, I need space. I'm not ready to talk yet. Maybe someday, but not now." She responded immediately, "I understand. I'm here when you're ready. I love you." I didn't reply. 3 months into my medical billing course, something unexpected happened. My instructor, Diane, a woman with 20 years in healthcare administration, pulled me aside. "Ashley, I want to talk about your work. You're one of the top students in the program." "Thank you," I said, surprised. "I'm serious. Your attention to detail is exceptional, and you have a real knack for this. Have you thought about what you want to do after you finish?" I was hoping to find a position at a hospital or clinic. Something stable. Diane smiled. "I have a friend at Virginia Commonwealth University Health System. They're looking for someone to join their billing department. It's a senior position, and the pay is excellent. I'd like to recommend you." My heart skipped a beat. "Really? Really? I'll send you the details. You'd have to interview, of course, but I think you'd be perfect for it." I walked out of class feeling lighter than I had in months. This was it. The opportunity I'd been working toward. And I'd done it all on my own, without my family's support or approval. When I got home, I found an envelope slipped under my door. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting, my mom's. I opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a birthday card, 3 months late, and a check for $500. THECARDREAD WERESORRYWEMISSEDYOURBI WEHOPETHISMAKESUPFORIT LOVEMANDAD. 500 Thecardred. Weary Sri Wemisador birthday. Wehopathismic Supferit. Love Momandad. 500, a fraction of what I'd given them. And they thought this would fix things. I tore up the check and threw in the trash. The interview at VCU Health System was scheduled for the following Tuesday. I spent the entire weekend preparing. Vanessa helped me pick out a professional outfit. The morning of, I woke up with butterflies. This was the biggest opportunity I'd had in years, and I wasn't going to let my family drama ruin it. The interview went better than I could have imagined. The hiring manager, Caroline, was impressed. "We need someone organized, detail-oriented, who can handle high-pressure situations," she said. "From what Diane told me, and what I'm seeing here, you fit that description perfectly." "Thank you. I'm really excited about this." The position comes with full benefits, and the starting salary is $75,000 a year. Does that work for you? I nearly fell out of my chair. $75,000. Almost double what I was making. "That works perfectly," I managed to say. "Great. I'll be in touch by the end of the week." I walked out of the hospital feeling like I was floating. This was really happening. My life was actually turning around. When I got back to my car, I had 6 missed calls from my mom and 3 from my dad. I ignored them all. Vanessa and I celebrated with drinks that evening. "You deserve this," she said, raising her glass. "After everything you've been through, you deserve something good." When I got home, there was another email from my mom. Subject line, "Emergency." My stomach dropped. Despite everything, they were still my parents. If something was really wrong, I needed to know. I opened it. Ashley, we need to talk immediately. Your father lost his job last week, and we're in serious financial trouble. We need that money back. This isn't a request. This is a genuine emergency. We could lose the house. Please call us as soon as you get this. Mom, I read it twice. My happiness draining away. My dad lost his job. They might lose the house. And somehow, this was my responsibility? Except it wasn't. I'd given them $36,000. They'd spent it on luxury trips and gifts for Brooke instead of saving for actual emergencies. This was the consequence of their choices, not mine. But the guilt was still crushing. They were my parents. No matter how badly they treated me, did I really want them to lose their home? I call Vanessa. They're saying it's an emergency. My dad lost his job. They might lose the house. Ashley, listen to me very carefully. This is not your problem. But what if they're telling the truth? What if they really are in trouble? Then they need to figure it out like adults. They could downsize. They can get new jobs. They can ask Brooke for help. You're not their safety net. You gave them $36,000 and they wasted it. If they're in financial trouble now, that's on them. I know. You're right. I know that. But you're about to start an amazing new job. You're building a life for yourself. Don't let them drag you back down. I took a deep breath. You're right. You're absolutely right. After hanging up, I replied to my mom's email. Mom, I'm sorry to hear about Dad's job, but I can't help you financially. I gave you $36,000 over the years, and you chose to spend it on things that weren't emergencies. I have my own life to worry about now. I suggest you talk to Brooke about helping out since she's the one you've always prioritized. Best of luck, Ashley. I hit send and turn off my phone. 3 days later, I got the call from Caroline. I got the job. I started crying right there in my living room. Happy tears. Relieved tears. Tears for everything I'd been through to get to this moment. I'd done it. I'd actually done it. I called Patricia first. She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away. I'm so proud of you, she said. This is just the beginning, Ashley. You're going to do amazing things. Then Vanessa, who insisted we celebrate properly. We went to a nice restaurant. To new beginnings, Vanessa toasted. To new beginnings, I echoed. For the first time in months, I felt genuinely happy. My start date was in 3 weeks. I gave notice at my old job. The medical billing course was winding down, and I finished with top marks. Everything was finally falling into place. Then Brooke showed up at my apartment. I was coming home from the grocery store when I saw her sitting on my steps. She looked different, thinner, tired. Her usual polished appearance was gone. What are you doing here? I asked, not unkindly, but not warmly either. I needed to see you, to apologize in person. Brooke, I told you I need space. I know, but please, just 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I hesitated, then unlocked the door. 5 minutes. We went up. I set the groceries down. Brooke stood awkwardly, looking around like she'd never been here before. She hadn't. I'd never invited her. Ashley, I didn't know, she started. I swear I didn't know they were using your money. When I found out, I confronted them. We had a huge fight, and they told me you were being dramatic, that you'd given them the money freely, and now you were trying to hold it over their heads. But I know that's not true. I went through their bank statements. I saw everything. I crossed my arms. So what do you want? Absolution? No. I want you to know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being oblivious, for taking everything for granted, for not realizing how badly they were treating you. You're my sister, and I should have noticed. Her voice cracked. Tears formed. Brooke, you were just being who they taught you to be. I don't blame you for that. But I should have been better. I should have paid attention. I should have stood up for you. I softened a little. Yeah, you should have. I told them I'm not taking any more money from them until they apologize to you. And I meant it. That surprised me. You did. I did. And they're furious with me now, too. Apparently, I'm being ungrateful. Despite everything, I felt a small flicker of sympathy. Welcome to my world. I don't know how you dealt with this for so long. I didn't have a choice. Brooke wiped her eyes. I'm moving out of their house. I got my own apartment. And I'm going back to school to finish my degree. I'm not going to be their perfect little princess anymore. Good for you, I said, and I meant it. Do you think we could ever be real sisters? Not just by blood, but actually be there for each other. I thought about it. Maybe someday. But it's going to take time, Brooke. A lot of time. I understand. I'll wait as long as it takes. After she left, I sat on my couch. She was trying. She was actually trying. It didn't erase the past, but it was something. My phone buzzed with another email from my mom. I almost didn't open it. Ashley, I don't know what you said to Brooke, but she's refusing to help us. You've turned her against us. You're tearing this family apart. I hope you're happy. Mom. I deleted the email without responding. I was happy, and that was what terrified them the most. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur. I finished the medical billing course at the top of my class, received my certification, and prepared for my new job. Patricia threw me a small celebration. To Ashley, she said, "The strongest person I know." Everyone clapped, and I felt tears prick my eyes. The day before I started my new job, I did something I've been putting off. I unfollowed my parents on all social media. As I scrolled, I noticed something odd. My mom had posted a status update 2 days earlier. Sometimes your children disappoint you in ways you never imagined. We raised Ashley to be better than this, but she's chosen selfishness over family. Praying for her to see the light. The post had dozens of comments. Most were supportive of my mom, but a few stood out. My Aunt Linda commented, "Maybe it's time to look at your own actions instead of blaming Ashley. I watched you treat that girl like garbage for years. She deserves better." And my cousin Jake, "Ashley's been supporting you guys financially for years, and you never even thanked her. Maybe she got tired of being taken for granted." A rush of vindication. Other people had noticed. Other people knew the truth. I screenshotted the post and comments, saving them to a folder on my computer. Insurance, just in case. My first day at VCU Health System was nerve-wracking but exhilarating. Caroline showed me around. Everyone seemed welcoming. "You'll do great," she said. "If you need anything, just ask." I loved every minute. This was real. This was mine. Nobody could take it away. At the end of my first week, Caroline called me into her office. "I want to check in. How are you adjusting? It's been amazing. Thank you again for this opportunity. You've earned it. I've been getting great feedback. You're catching on fast. I'm trying my best. I can tell. And I wanted you to know there's room for growth here. If you continue performing at this level, I could see you moving into a management position within a year or two." Management. Within a year or two. My jaw dropped. That would be incredible. Just keep doing what you're doing. I left her office walking on air. That weekend, I finally responded to Brooke's text, inviting her to lunch. Just two sisters trying to salvage something. She looked nervous. "Thanks for agreeing to meet." I figured it was time. We ordered sandwiches and made small talk. Her new apartment, her plans for school, my new job. It felt stilted, awkward, but it was a start. "I talked to Mom and Dad again," she said eventually. "They're still refusing to take responsibility. They think you're being vindictive." Of course they do. I told them I wasn't going to be part of their games anymore. That if they wanted a relationship with me, they needed to grow up and apologize to you. How'd that go? About as well as you'd expect. Mom hung up on me. Dad called me an ungrateful brat. I felt a pang of sympathy. "I'm sorry. Don't be. You were right about everything. I was so blind, Ashley. I took everything for granted, and I let them turn me into this spoiled, oblivious person. I don't want to be that anymore. Change takes time. I know, but I'm willing to put in the work. If you let me." I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw sincerity. Remorse. A genuine desire to be better. "Okay," I said finally, "but we're starting from scratch. No expectations, no pressure. Just two people trying to be sisters. I can live with that." We finished lunch and parted ways with an awkward but genuine hug. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a beginning. That night, my phone buzzed. My mom had tagged me in a Facebook post. Against my better judgment, I clicked. A long, rambling message about family values, respect, how children owe their parents everything. At the end, "Ashley, if you're reading this, know that your father and I are heartbroken by your actions. We're praying you'll come back to us before it's too late. Mom." The comments were a mix of support from my parents and questions. Some relatives were asking me what was going on. I could have ignored it. Probably should have. But something snapped. I commented, "Mom, I gave you $36,000 over 6 years to help with medical bills and expenses. You used it to fund luxury trips and gifts for Brooke while ignoring me completely. You forgot my birthday. Publicly stated that Brooke was the only child who made you proud. And now you're trying to guilt me into giving you more money. I'm done being your ATM. If you want a relationship with me, start by apologizing and taking responsibility for your actions. Ashley. I hit post before I could second-guess myself. Within minutes, the comments poured in. Some shocked, others supportive. Aunt Linda commented, "Finally, someone said it." My mom responded, "This is a private family matter. How dare you air our business publicly?" I replied, "You made it public when you tagged me. I'm just telling my side of the story." Then I logged off and blocked both my parents on all social media. My hand was shaking, but I felt lighter than I had in years. I'd finally told the truth. I'd finally stood up for myself in a way that couldn't be ignored. And I was done apologizing for it. The Facebook post exploded overnight. By morning, over 200 comments, countless shares. My phone was flooded with messages from relatives. Aunt Linda called me at 7 a.m. "Ashley, honey, are you okay?" "I'm fine. Better than fine, actually. I just saw what you posted. I had no idea it was that bad." Most people didn't. They were good at hiding it. Well, the truth is out now. Your Uncle Tom and I have been talking, and we're on your side. What your parents did was inexcusable. Thank you. That means a lot. And between you and me, your mother is losing her mind. She's been calling everyone trying to get them to side with her. It's not going well for her. A small surge of satisfaction. Good. That afternoon at work, Vanessa called. "So I saw your Facebook post. You and everyone else. Are you okay?" That took guts. I'm tired of hiding their dysfunction. If they wanted privacy, they shouldn't have aired their grievances publicly first. Fair point. How are they taking it? Not well, from what I hear. But that's not my problem anymore. Good for you. Seriously, I'm proud of you. Later, an unknown number. "Hello, Ashley. It's your dad. How did you get this number?" "I asked your cousin Jake. Please don't hang up. What do you want?" Your mother is beside herself. That Facebook post. You've humiliated us in front of the entire family. You humiliated yourselves. I just told the truth. We need to meet face to face. We need to resolve this. There's nothing to resolve, Dad. You and Mom made your choices. I made mine. We're done. Ashley, please. We're your parents. Then maybe you should have acted like it. I'm asking you one more time. Meet with us this week. We'll buy you dinner. We'll talk things through like adults. I almost laughed. Like adults? Dad, adults don't forget their daughter's birthday. Adults don't steal money from one child to spoil another. Adults take responsibility for their actions. We're willing to admit we made mistakes. That stopped me. You're willing to admit it? Yes. We know we haven't been perfect. We want to make things right. I was quiet, thinking. Part of me wanted to refuse. But another part, the little girl who just wanted her parents to love her, wondered if maybe this was sincere. Fine. One dinner. But I choose the place, and Brooke comes too. Why does Brooke need to be there? Because she's part of this family too, and she deserves to hear whatever you have to say. He hesitated. Okay. When? Friday night, 6 p.m. I'll text you the address. I immediately called Brooke. They want to meet. All of us. Friday night. What did you say? I said yes. But I need you there as backup. Of course, I'll be there. And Brooke, don't tell them what we've talked about. I want to see if they're actually going to be honest, or if this is just another manipulation. Got it. I spent the next few days preparing. I made a list of every grievance I'd buried. I wasn't going to yell or cry. I was going to be calm, clear, and firm. They were going to hear me. Friday came. I chose a quiet restaurant. Public enough that they couldn't make a scene, but private enough for a serious conversation. Brooke showed up 15 minutes before, looking nervous. You okay? She asked. I will be. At exactly 6 p.m., my parents walked in. Mom looked older, her face tight with stress. Dad had lost weight. They sat down. Nobody spoke. Dad cleared his throat. Thank you for agreeing to meet. Let's just get to it, I said. You wanted to talk, so talk. Mom folded her hands. Ashley, we owe you an apology. I waited. We've been thinking a lot about what you said, about the money, and how we've treated you. And you're right. We haven't been fair to you. Go on. We've always worried about Brooke more, because she struggled with things you seem to handle easily. You were always so independent, so capable. We thought you didn't need us as much. So you just stopped trying? We didn't stop trying. We just prioritized differently. You forgot my birthday. Mom, you commented on Instagram that Brooke was the only one who made you proud. How was that prioritizing differently? She looked down. That comment was a mistake. I was just excited for your sister. A mistake you left up for everyone to see. Dad jumped in. We're here because we want to fix this. We want our family back. You want our ATM back, I corrected. Let's be honest about what this is really about. That's not fair, Mom said. Isn't it? Dad lost his job. You're in financial trouble, and suddenly you want to reconcile. The timing is pretty convenient. Brooke spoke up. She's right. You didn't care about fixing things until you needed money. Mom turned to her, shocked. Brooke, you know that's not true. Actually, I don't. Ashley's been telling the truth about everything. I went through the bank statements. I saw where all her money went. And I've been thinking about how differently you treated us growing up. She's not making this up. We gave you both everything we could. Dad insisted. No, I said firmly. You gave Brooke everything. You gave me leftovers and criticism. The table fell silent. Finally, Mom's facade cracked. What do you want from us, Ashley? You want us to grovel, to beg? We're here. We're apologizing. What more do you want? I want you to mean it. We do mean it. Then prove it. Tell me one thing you're proud of me for. One accomplishment you celebrated. One time you put my needs first. She opened her mouth, then closed it. She couldn't think of anything. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. They really couldn't. That's what I thought, I said quietly. Dad leaned forward, his voice strained. Ashley, you're being unreasonable. We're trying here. No, you're trying to manipulate me into feeling guilty, so I'll give you more money. There's a difference. That's not what this is about, Mom protested. Then what is it about? From where I'm sitting, this looks like a last-ditch effort to get back into my good graces, so you can use me again. Brooke squeezed my hand under the table. Let me make something very clear, I continued. I'm not giving you any more money. Not now. Not ever. I spent 6 years supporting you, and you used me. That's done. Mom's eyes filled. We're going to lose the house, Ashley. Is that what you want? To see your parents homeless? You're not going to be homeless. You have options. You can downsize. You can get jobs. You can ask Brooke for help, since she's apparently the only daughter you care about. Already told them no, Brooke said quietly. I'm not enabling this anymore either. My parents looked at her with matching expressions of betrayal. You too, Dad asked. We raised you better than this. No, you raised me to be selfish and entitled. Ashley's helping me see that. Mom pushed back from the table, her voice rising. This is ridiculous. We've apologized. We've admitted we made mistakes. What more do you want? I want you to understand why what you did was wrong. I want you to acknowledge that you hurt me. Not just say sorry because you think it's what I want to hear. Fine. You want specifics? We're sorry we forgot your birthday. We're sorry we didn't celebrate your achievements. We're sorry we used your money. Is that what you wanted to hear? Say it like you mean it. Mom's face hardened. I've said all I'm going to say. If that's not good enough for you, then I guess we're done here. She stood up, grabbing her purse. Dad looked between us, conflicted. Are you coming? She asked him. He stood slowly. Ashley, I hope you reconsider. Family is important. Family is important, I agreed. That's why I'm not letting you abuse me anymore. They left without another word. Brooke and I sat in silence. Well, she finally said, that went about as well as expected. Yeah, are you okay? I am actually. I gave them a chance. They blew it. That's on them. We ordered dinner and spent the next hour talking about everything except our parents. Brooke told me about her new apartment, her classes. I told her about work, my future plans. For the first time, we were just two sisters having dinner. No competition, no favoritism, no drama. Just us. When we left, Brooke hugged me tight. Thank you for giving me another chance, she said. Thank you for showing up. Over the next few weeks, things settled into a new normal. I excelled at my job, impressing Caroline. My work felt genuinely satisfying. My parents tried reaching out a few more times, emails, voicemails, a letter. Each message was the same, apologetic on the surface, manipulative underneath, always circling back to their financial problems. I ignored them all. The family drama on Facebook eventually died down, but not before several relatives reached out privately, telling me they'd suspected something was wrong for years. Aunt Linda became a regular presence, inviting me to dinners, going out of her way to include me. "Your mother is furious with me," she told me one Sunday. "She thinks I'm turning the family against her." "Are you?" "Nope. She did that all by herself. I'm just refusing to pretend everything's fine." 3 months after that disastrous dinner, Caroline called me in again. "I have some news," she said, smiling. "We're creating a new position, Assistant Director of Medical Billing. I'd like to offer it to you." My jaw dropped. "Already, you've proven yourself, Ashley. You're organized, efficient, and the team respects you. Significant raise, more responsibilities. What do you say?" "Yes. Absolutely yes." "Great. We'll make it official next week." I left her office in a daze. Assistant Director. 6 months ago, I've been crying over a cupcake, feeling worthless. Now, a leadership position at a major hospital. I call Vanessa and Patricia immediately. That weekend, Patricia threw me an impromptu celebration. It was small, just her kids, Vanessa, and Brooke, but it meant everything. These people had seen me at my lowest and supported me as I rebuilt my life. To Ashley, Patricia said, "The strongest person I know." Everyone toasted, and I felt tears prick my eyes. Later that night, my phone rang. It was my dad. I almost didn't answer. "Hello, Ashley. It's Dad. Please don't hang up. What do you want?" "I wanted to tell you that I got a new job. It doesn't pay as much, but it's something. And your mom is working part-time at a retail store." "Good for you. We're going to be okay. We're figuring it out." I waited for the ask, the manipulation. It didn't come. I also wanted to say I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not because I want something from you, but because you deserve to hear it. We were wrong. We treated you terribly. And there's no excuse for that. I pulled over, my hands shaking. "Your mother isn't ready to admit it yet, but I am. You were right about everything. We took you for granted. We played favorites. We used you. And I'm sorry." Tears streamed down my face. This was what I'd wanted to hear for 30 years. "Thank you," I managed to say. "I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even expect you to want a relationship with me. I just needed you to know that I see what we did, and I'm ashamed of it." We talked for another 20 minutes. He didn't ask for money, didn't guilt me. He just talked and I listened. For the first time, I felt like my dad actually saw me. When we hung up, I sat in my car. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet, but it was a start. The following months brought changes I never could have imagined. My new role as assistant director kept me fulfilled. I implemented new systems, saved the hospital thousands. Brooke and I grew closer, meeting for dinner once a week. She'd enrolled in community college, working towards a business degree. She'd also started therapy to work through the family dynamics. "My therapist says I was conditioned to see myself as superior," she told me. And recognizing that is the first step. My relationship with my dad slowly improved. My mom still hadn't apologized directly, and I'd accepted she probably never would. 6 months into my new position, I attended a healthcare conference. During a session, I met Grace, who ran a consulting firm. "You have some really interesting ideas," she said. "Have you ever thought about consulting? We're always looking for talented people." I pocketed her card. That Christmas, I spent the holiday with Aunt Linda's family. The first Christmas in years where I felt genuinely welcomed. Brooke came too. My parents called on Christmas morning. Dad wished me a Merry Christmas. "How's your day going?" he asked. "It's good. Really good. I'm glad. You deserve it." After we hung up, I felt at peace. The new year brought more opportunities. Caroline approached me about a master's degree, with the hospital covering most of it. Vanessa got engaged, asked me to be a bridesmaid. Patricia's daughter pursued nursing. My life was full. One Saturday in March, cleaning my apartment, I found the old birthday card my parents had sent with a $500 check I'd torn up. I kept the pieces, I wasn't sure why. I looked at them, then threw them in the trash. I didn't need their money. I didn't need their approval. I had built a life I was proud of. That evening, a message from Brooke. Just wanted to say, "I'm proud of you for everything." I smiled and typed back, "Proud of you too." A few days later, my mom finally broke her silence. An email, no subject line. "Ashley, I've been doing a lot of thinking. Your father tells me you're doing well, and I'm glad. I'm not good at apologies, and I don't know if I ever will be, but I want you to know that I do see you now. I see what we did, how we hurt you. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know that I'm trying to be better. Maybe one day we can talk. Mom, it wasn't the groveling apology I'd once fantasized about. Not even a particularly good apology. But it was something. I wrote back, "Thank you for saying that. I'm not ready to have a relationship yet, but maybe someday. I hope you and Dad are doing okay." She responded, "We are, and I hope you are too." That was enough for now. As spring turned to summer, my life flourished. The hospital promoted me again to Director of Revenue Operations. My salary nearly tripled. I started looking at houses. My parents struggled, eventually selling their house and moving into a smaller condo. They both work now, living within their means. According to Brooke, my mom complained constantly about budgeting, never acknowledging my contributions. My dad seemed to have genuinely changed. My mom, however, still made subtle comments to relatives, hinting that I could have prevented their struggles if I hadn't been so selfish. The extended family, though, saw through the manipulation now. Looking back, I realized that withdrawing that money wasn't revenge. It was self-preservation. I'd spent so many years trying to earn love that should have been freely given, trying to prove my worth to people who'd already decided I wasn't enough. Taking back what was mine wasn't about hurting them. It was about finally choosing myself. And in doing so, I discovered something more valuable than any amount of money could buy. The unshakable knowledge that I was enough, that I'd always been enough, and that I didn't need anyone's approval to prove it. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's simply living well and refusing to let anyone dim your light ever again. I'm curious, have any of you ever had to choose yourself over family expectations? How did that play out for you? Share your stories in the comments below. I really want to know.